We gave this session a title, Super Advanced Content Marketing, Higher Rankers and more traffic in less time through top secret ninja tricks. I've been getting ready for this day and this moment, actually, by giving this presentation in different cities and different events around the country. And one of the things that I learned, and this is my first tip for you, is don't put advanced in any of your session titles. Because you get feedback like this, like, no, that was too advanced or that was too basic. It's impossible to really make everyone happy on this one. It just sets expectations wrong. So this is literally feedback from a recent presentation. Information overload. He went way too fast. Same exact presentation. This was basic. I was hoping for more. I'm going to do my best. I'm just hoping that this is useful in general to someone, that you guys get some value from this. Really, all this is the latest things that we've been doing. This is 10 years in content. The latest things that we've been doing at Orbit to continue on this trend. 4.5 years ago, we were getting 2,100 visits a week. More recently, 21,000 visits a week. And these are the tactical, day-to-day little actions that we're taking. That's what this presentation really is just to help you guys see that path. But again, this is maybe not immediately practical for everyone here if you're at the beginning of your adventures in content, which is why I like to, and I'm a newbie in all kinds of things that I'm trying. So I like to think of John Acuff's advice, never compare your beginning to someone else's middle. There's people out there that I learned so much from and are so smart. Other speakers here that I'm just grateful to have them with us that I'm learning from. So yeah, some of this will be, if this is new to you guys, this might be just an introduction to concepts that you'll be using a bit later. Also, I consistently get feedback on presentations that I need more of this guy, so I threw in Eli. Have you seen him? He's here. There he is. He's right there. So that's Eli with his new backpack on. Oh, he's sleeping. Oh, we're going to keep it down. Okay. Actually, he's a partier. Look at this kid. He's like rocking it with the gypsy band. Here we are at Skokie Lagoons. Looks like he's dancing. He's really just trying to go that direction over there. Our little Cubs fan. Check. You've seen Eli. He's in there. Okay. So that outcome that you saw, 21,000 visits a week, is difficult for us to maintain because we have one full-time marketer, our marketing director and our host and director of this event, which is Amanda Gant. Thank you, Amanda. Marketing is about half of my time. I have to do many other things, so it's really just 1.5 marketers achieving that outcome. So I have to be very efficient with the things that I do. And so a lot of the things I'm going to show you are about how I'm getting better results through repurposing, through delegation, through just being resourceful. And this is my first tip for you guys. It's about how to turn your email, your day-to-day email, into high-ranking content. Okay? This is how I turn my day-to-day email into high-ranking content. And it works like this. Random stock photography woman sends me a question. Hey, Andy, would you mind? And we all get questions. This is not unique to me or to anyone. We all get questions all day long in email, from team members, from friends, from clients, from partners. All these people are asking us questions, and these questions show up. Right? It's sort of like the universe is telling you what they want you to contribute to. Sometimes it's an invitation to add to be part of someone else's stuff. Right? So my answers are like this. Sure. Here's a few thoughts. Is this helpful? And even though I am very busy, I am going like off the deep end on details in email, day-to-day emailed answers, contributing to other people's, right? Just responding with as much detail, screenshots, images, bullet list, links, everything that I can possibly think of to make that the best answer that that person could have possibly imagined. No exaggeration. This is a screenshot. Someone had emailed me some questions, and I reply like this. There are people in this room that have gotten responses from me that look like this. Why on earth, if I'm that busy, would I go this far writing like 1,000-word answers to people's email in day-to-day? Well, some good things happen. First, you get responses like this. Wow, Andy, that was fantastic. Thanks. If I have any questions, I'll let you know. You blow their mind initially, right? That's a plus, right? They're very happy. These are people you're trying to help, right? You're contributing. These are clients sometimes, right? So the first benefit is that you are exceeding their expectations. But I do this partly knowing that I'm going to repurpose that content shortly hereafter. So there's the place where I keep them. I have a folder. I call it content marketing, and I store all of these emails in this folder, right? I did this for years. I literally, for 3 years, I kept every answer that I'd sent to anybody. That was too long. Don't wait 3 years. You can pull that stuff out of there much sooner. But after 3 years, this is what I had. I had 68 questions from roundups, 76 questions from email interviews, and 27 different questions from different friends and different clients. I had 171 different questions and answers. When I copied all these into a Google Doc, it was 92 pages long. I was basically writing a book. You're all writing books all day long via email. This is the irony of content, right? You ask someone like, yeah, people often say, oh, I know I should blog. You're right, I get it. I should be creating content. But I'm too busy to create content because I have to write email all day. That's weird, right? I'm too busy writing to do writing. Like, doesn't make any sense. We're always creating content all the time. It's everywhere. So really, the next step for me was just to pull it out of that giant Google Doc and organize it into different Google Docs. Answers to this, answers to this. At a glance, I can already tell what the universe wants from me, right? What people think I'm relevant for, where my areas of knowledge are, my specialties. These are the things that I should be. Maybe these should be the categories in the blog, right? These are things that I'm writing about and answering about the most. This is truly what I'm apparently relevant for. And there's things that come out of here like fully grown, like they're ready to go. There's articles that basically just emerged almost immediately, like this one, How to Turn a Press Release into a Blog Post. Several people had asked me, and with just a tiny bit of reorganization, this became an article. It went live last week on Ginny's site. It's on SpinSucks. They take guest posts there. It's a great place to pitch. SpinSucks.com ran with that last week. I'd also written a bunch of things on this topic of how to collaborate in content marketing, one of my all-time favorite topics. I'll touch on that a bit in a minute. And so here I put it in my template. If you need a template, Joanna's absolutely right. We need frameworks. We have a template we're happy to share with you. Or just search for web content template. You'll find it in Google. And then finally it goes live, and we make it a post, and here it is. There's the article, Collaborative Content Marketing. That article today ranks number 2 for collaborative content marketing. It actually didn't start ranking number 2. It started at the bottom of page 1 and then slipped. It was on page 3 and then back to page 2, and now it's at the top of page 1. So it's highly visible, right, in a durable way. This article about testimonials, it was just emailed answers, right? It wasn't an article at all. But having repurposed that and realizing that these emails were actually quite useful, got it into this piece, How to Write Testimonials plus Examples. Ranks number 3 today for How to Write Testimonials. I think this ranks number 2 right now for the word testimonials. Aligned it with a key phrase. Testimonial examples. Aligned it with a key phrase. Started as an email, ranked on page 5 in Google. I'm tracking in Moz my changes in rank over time. Climbs to the top of page 1. Started as an email. Oh, I remade this slide seconds ago. You saw me do that in Snagit. Started as an email. Hundreds we saw just now, right? 300 visits a day. It was an email. So the lesson here is that you can turn email into answers. Turn your answers aligned with key phrases and give that key phrase, right? A key phrase focused headline. The idea is this, and social media marketers have known this forever. Never waste a good conversation by having it in private. Have you ever hung up the phone and thought, wow, I should have recorded that. I just gave the best answer that I've ever given to that topic, right? It's just kind of a waste, right? Because it just went out there into the void like it's gone now. You didn't capture it. So the key is to just always think about this. We are always creating content. We're always answering questions. We're always sending email. We're always doing so many things that actually could become a valuable piece. Could become something that even ranks. Or maybe you just make it an article. Maybe it never ranks. But next time someone asks you the question, rather than answer it one at a time over email or have an email draft that you send to someone every time, put it on your site. Now you can just send them the link. Now they can share it with someone else. Extremely powerful. I've also learned this recently. This is a B2B tactic, but it's not just B2B. Writing for people who are currently in your sales funnel, people you're already talking to, people that are already prospects. So, for example, Kyle Ackerman, I'm just randomly picking faces here. You see that? Kyle is not a prospect, but I said we talked to a prospect about a project, and they have a question, X. Other prospects also have that. Avinash is also not a prospect, but there's his face. Avinash Kaushik, analytics expert. Great, thanks for the proposal. What if X happens? Or my team was wondering, how would you handle situation X? Or good meeting, but I'm still a little bit unclear about this thing, right? It's a common question. Analyze your pipeline. You'll find people have common questions. How are you addressing that? Are you just answering the same question over and over, one at a time, one email at a time, one phone call at a time? Not a good idea. Not scalable. Not getting the maximum value from that. But if you look at that pipeline, all of us, right? even B2C, even transactional decisions. There's people who have common questions. Our job is to understand what those common questions are and answer it in a way that can be repurposed, a way that's durable, a way that can live on your site and give you value over time. In our industry, this is a common question. Yeah, great. I'm excited to work with you. I'm not sure yet because I already ranked for 400 phrases. What will you do to protect my rankings? What will you do to protect my rankings? The answer to that, I could just answer that in an email, right? Well, we have a process. We check your rankings. We're going to make sure the sitemap is a page per page, and we're going to align it with those key phrases, and we'll do light editing to make sure that you don't, blah, 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 blah. Or better yet, I'm glad you asked. I'm sending you a link. And as soon as they see it online, it's weird. It's like, oh, now it's in pixels. It's more credible. Like, he published it. He must know what he's talking about. I don't know why that works, right? If it's online, it just seems more likely to be true. So yeah, how do we launch a high-ranking website? Yeah, and this is in extremely detailed, like everything I know about the topic. Like this is, the complete guide on how to protect your rankings. So when instead of just answering that over the phone, and he would have to spend, it would take me half an hour or longer to explain it all. The prospect responds, wow, whew, you got that covered. Sounds good. Check that box. No worries at all. So the idea is this. Again, the universe is kind of telling you what they want you to create. Prospect has a question. Salesperson has an answer. If that's the end of it, you kind of missed out, right? But if you take all the questions from your prospects, from your audience, anything that you find, on the phone, in your sales team's sent mail folder, on your website's chat logs, anything at all, right? Turn those into topics. And here's the breaking down the silos between sales and marketing. Send those topics to the marketing team. Kaboom! Marketing team writes an article, aligns it with a key phrase, maybe, definitely makes it available to the sales team to send to that prospect. Prospect gets an email. Another benefit, now your sales team is consistent in their answers because the answer is published, right? We're all singing from the same songbook. It makes perfect sense. To go even farther with this, you can actually collaborate with your prospects or with your partners or with your vendors or with your referral partner, anybody at all, and get value from your content. I love this because since I started doing this, I've realized this is like such a great hack. You get value from your content even before it goes live. It works like this. Here's you, and here's your prospect or partner or whoever. Instead of just writing an article, publishing it, and hoping someone sees it, while you're writing the article, you're reaching out to a cold lead, to a current prospect, to a partner, to a friend, and asking them to contribute to it. And now you're working on the article together. This thing goes live. It's also more likely to be seen by more people, as we'll see. This is, social sharing increases if you have collaborative content. But beyond that, I got value from this even before it went live. The process of creating it delivered value. That's why they call it zero-waste marketing. You created something, you built a relationship in the process of creating content. Cost, zero. Time, the value is guaranteed, right? Because you actually reached out to someone that you wanted to talk to anyway to make something together. And now that's on your site, right? You have a partner in it. I do this all the time. I always wanted to meet Matt Hines. This is how I met Matt Hines. That guy is an expert. That guy knows a lot. I definitely want that guy in my network. Now I know Matt. That's how I met him, right? So your blog is an incredible networking tool if you know how to use it as such. A journalist wouldn't write an article without including a source, would they? Right? But why would a marketer create a content without including contributor quotes? So yeah, it improves the quality, it increases traffic, and it's a lot more fun. Here's an example of that testimonials piece. And this is a true story. I always wanted to meet Jen Havas. She's up there with Joanna. She's a killer conversion copywriter. I love these people. Have you noticed how the industry changed? There's like SEO copywriters and there's conversion copywriters, right? That's sort of, the evolution of online content. So, hi, Jen. Would you like to contribute a quote to this article I'm working on? In my experience, people don't really decline to be interviewed. People wake up in the morning hoping to be interviewed. It would be weird if someone said, no, I've got enough, friends. I don't really want to talk. No. People say yes, they want to be interviewed. It's very unlikely that anyone would decline to be part of the piece that you're working on. They're honored that you reached out. You're like a member of the press, right? That's the paradigm shift in the last 15 years, is that we are all now publishers. And as a publisher, you can take sources, right? And you're reaching out and including them as contributors. So Jen says, yeah, sure, no problem. How does this sound? I asked her for a contributing quote on how to do good testimonials. Wow, this is perfect. Thanks, Jen. I'll let you know when this goes live. The contribution, I talked about this yesterday, the contribution to this article that Jen gave me is so brilliant that it's affected how we build websites. It's right here. Jen's advice, it's simple. Don't just add the testimonial to your website. Take the most compelling words out of that testimonial and make it a headline above the testimonial. There's a good reason why Amazon makes you write a little headline for each review, right? It's to increase the visual prominence on the part of the review that's the most compelling. It increases scannability. It's going to slow down the reader as they cruise down the page. So I added it to my things. So here's a mini framework and a quick takeaway. 7 things to add to every testimonial. The top one is especially relevant if you're B2B. There was a study last week from Conversion XL that showed that client logos are the most powerful piece of social proof, followed by faces. So I've got both those in here. So yeah, if you're B2B, the company logo is a good thing to add. There's my headline, right? I took out, you probably wouldn't have seen it otherwise because it's down here at the bottom. And then I made the person real. This is John. It's Cushing. It's our partner today, right? This is John. The picture, the name, the title, the company, linking back to them. Of course, I'm thrilled. I'm so grateful for this. Highly recommended. Cushing should be your printing partner if they're not already. And this is me being sneaky. This isn't just making it a better mousetrap. This is also part of the cheese. How? I'm including a key phrase in the testimonial. Because, yes, a key phrase-focused testimonial is one of only 4 tactics I know of in all of digital that can increase both traffic and the conversion rate at the same time. This page is optimized to rank for website conversions. And lo and behold, there it is, right? This testimonial is also helping to indicate relevance for that, key phrase. And I said this once today already, but we could all say it together. Where's the worst place to put a testimonial? On the testimonials page. Why? Because it looks and smells like marketing. They know it a mile away. It's never a popular page. I've never seen an analytics account that had a popular testimonials page. Why would they go there? That would be weird. It's like, it reminds me of like serving a plate of parsley for dinner. It's the garnish. It's supportive. It doesn't make sense on its own, right? So yeah, this is common. On this website, the testimonials page is the 31st most popular page. If anyone has any evidence to if anyone has an analytics account that has a super popular testimonials page, I would love to see it. Maybe it'd be like a 2-page website, like the home page and the testimonials page. And they are so powerful because they're social proof. Everything that you say, we know. Everything that you say is automatically marketing, but when they say it, it's social proof. You can't write copy that good. And collaborative content leads to greater traffic because collaborative content is optimized for social. This person on the left just wrote an article. Person on the right has a network of people that they talk to, get ideas from, share with, and sometimes include in the content itself, socializing the topic, getting contributor quotes from experts. These two go live. Who gets greater social visibility? The one who included the ego bait, right? Include people in your content. This is, I think of it, and I make it quite just this simple. I mentioned this last year. Content optimized for search includes keywords. Everybody knows that. Content optimized for social includes people. Ask this question. How many people are waiting for that article to go live? That number should be greater than 0. It's kind of a problem. If the day you launch that thing, it's like then the world suddenly finds out about it. You didn't prime the pump. You didn't stack the deck. You're not, it's not cheating, but I think of it that way. You should be cheating a little bit, right? We should be, so you're like working on this with other people. The results are going to be much better. This is, if you do it well enough, that's Jason who's here. Jason Quay. Love this man. Outreach expert. This goes live. This was an article that included tons of people. This goes live, and here's Jason inviting people to a party almost, right? Look at all these mentions, all these people. This isn't like a, have you seen people do this? Has this happened to you where someone shares something on LinkedIn and they tag you, and then you look at it, you're like, why did I get tagged on that? That reminds me of like the, and then they run away. Like that's not a legit marketing tactic. No. But these people are invested in the content. They're in it. He's tagging them because they're included in the piece, right? They're included in the piece. That means that they're invested in the piece. And that means that they're an ally in creating the content, which makes them an ally in promoting the content. An ally in creation is an ally in promotion. Don't go it alone. It's also boring to write one article after the other all alone. That's not fun. That's not you're not doing it right. Now, if you're ever inside a piece that anyone else is inside of, maybe someone else wrote it and you're a contributor, you can take that opportunity to do a little bit of networking. And this, to me, is something I do almost immediately anytime I am in anything. This was an article on CMS Wire for marketers running experiments. At the time we were running an experiment, and this author was writing about it. And there was someone in this that I didn't know yet. Of the 4 marketers, there's a guy named James in there. And so my instinct, seconds later, is to go find that person and connect with them and say, hey, James, we were both in the same piece of content. His response, great, glad to connect. By the way, James runs a really popular podcast. He didn't make it today. He was registered. A popular podcast, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about this. And then listen to this piece at the bottom. Anyway, if you'd ever like to collaborate on anything at all, just say the word. If you'd ever like to collaborate on anything at all, just say the word. This is like a Jedi mind trick that I use all the time. I type that all the time. You're going to laugh at me in a second. His response, yeah, hey, want to be a guest on our podcast? Yes, I do. Why did that happen? It's because we were in the same piece. That's how I met him. Content is a networking tool. It would have been a missed opportunity. You create those opportunities by reaching out and kind of putting it out there, right? Yes, I'm a collaborative person. I would love to hang out. I'd love to work with you on something. I'd love to share something you wrote. I'd love to include you in something I'm making. This is how the content marketer grows their network, their personal brand, and their online opportunities. So there he sent it. So I gave myself the title of schmoozer on this slide. Don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like to collaborate on anything at all. I write this so often that I gave this presentation. She's from BuzzSumo, Susan Moeller. I'm like, yeah, I type that all day. Susan says, you know, you could just use a tool to type that for you. So I got a tool to type that for me. I made this, I fuzzed out the names. You're going to see me type a LinkedIn message down here at the bottom. Oops. This is like a little screencast. Again, thank you, TechSmith. Where I am writing, yeah, thanks, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate it. And then I type the same character 3 times. Boom. Text expander. Put it right in there. All done. Let's see. Fewer keystrokes, less wrist problem. Dun, dun, dun. I type that same character 3 times, and it just puts those words there. It's a text expander. It's actually a pretty good productivity hack. It's a Chrome extension. Just install this, and you can create whatever keystroke combinations you want to type whatever thing that you type all the time. So now you know what mine is. If you'd ever like to collaborate on it, I'm putting a seed in their brain. If you'd ever like to collaborate on anything at all, just say the word. ... Boom. Right? Invitation sent. Inception. It's like that movie, right? Jess Best called me out on this one yesterday because, yes, I love this slide. The fun report in your analytics will spike. It's a joke slide. Right there, see when I started to collaborate with James, right? That just went up. Also, the friendship report. These are fake. These are not reports. You get the idea. Karma. You'll see karma gradually increase. High fives. Check that high five report, right? Because you're getting it done. You're working with people, having a good time. And I said this kind of already. If you're not making friends, you're not doing it right. That's what should be happening all the time, right? You should be always just reaching out to anyone, collaborating on anything, right? You should be making friends. You should be working on stuff, sharing it for them, right? I just don't know how else you could possibly even do it. It doesn't make any sense to me that it could be done any other way. So now you've been contributing to stuff, and they've been contributing to stuff, and your content's become a networking tool, and your articles have become super collaborative. It's etiquette to say thank you by sharing that thing that you were a part of, right? They included you because it's ego bait as well, and now I'm going to be definitely just shouting that from the rooftops and printing it and putting it on the fridge and promoting that however I possibly can. Flooding the zone and social media with anything that we appear in. Now, it's a lot of work to stay busy in social media, sharing anything from anyone that you love, and we'd all be happy, of course. Let me know if I can share something of any of yours. That's a legit offer. I'd be happy to promote anything that you guys are working on. But here's how I can do that realistically, because it would take me a lot of time to do it. Who here has carpal tunnel, or they call it now RSI, repetitive stress injury? It's a real thing. That's not a joke slide. The color of the skin It's a different color. Like this pink spot on my wrist is from the cortisone shot I got after I started having symptoms for what they call de Quervain's tenosynovitis. Unbelievably painful. Like wake me up at night. Like that hurt a lot. It's a swelling of the sheath of the tendon. Like I still have to be careful of this. It's not quite right yet. So yeah, so now my advice to you for this is to create a piece of content that will save you time. This is a perfect hack for content marketers because you're good at creating educational stuff, right? We all create educational stuff. So how are we going to do that? This is a turbo version, scrolling down, of how Amanda and I have written every step in every process to share everything that we do in social media. Make yourself one of these documents. It tells you step by step. I have to remove this slide if we share this presentation because I think it's got like all the logins for all of our accounts. Now, when we're going to share something that we were a part of or something that a friend created, all we do is put it on this spreadsheet called Promotables. And Amanda Rousseau, our friend in Michigan, checks this all the time and then comes in here, and based on how many times we told them to share it on which social networks, she promotes that everywhere. 8 hours a month? Make a piece of content that will save you 8 hours a month. And that's an amazing outcome. I'm very happy about this piece of content. Not possible without this. You know, write a blog post, eat your vegetables, and go to the gym. That's a good day, right? Have a great day by documenting something that you can then delegate that make you more efficient. Move the fulcrum over. Better results forever after, right? Time saved. Permanent upgrade, right? Everything I'm doing here really is about becoming more efficient and saving time. Speaking of content being everywhere, this is, if she's here, she's going to squirm that I've got it in her face in here. I go up to Renee Feel, project manager, strategist at Orbit now. She's been promoted to strategist. She's on our team for 9 years, 10 years, 12 years. That's Renee. I could tell you great stories about Renee and having met Renee. So I walk up to Renee one day. This happened, right? Hey, Renee, don't we have a checklist that we use before websites go live? Yeah, we sure do. It's right here. Wow, this is great. Thank you. So I crack this thing open, and it is an extremely detailed checklist that we use before websites go live. Like the number of steps involved, like this, don't let your kids go into web design. There's way too many details. Like this is a very difficult service to offer. So Eli's going to do something else in life. I've decided it's not going to do this. So then I move all those, the relevant pieces, right? Take out the managerial things and put in the relevant pieces, the pieces related to marketing, into a document. Again, you've seen this now. This is my content marketing template. And it's a super long, super detailed piece, everything you need to know about how to launch a website. Okay. No hesitation, right? Fearless. This is definitely, I found gold. This is going to be good. So then what happens next? Put it on the website. The ultimate website launch checklist. 55 things to do before and after your website goes live. HubSpot had like a 12-point checklist. We're just going to crush those kids, right? Watch this. So this thing has literally, like this is, it's got all of our secrets, every trick and tip that there's related. So if you're having that feeling right now, that would lead to this question that people ask me, but Andy, aren't you worried that your competitors are going to steal your best practices? Yeah. Can you feel that even a little bit, right? It's an internal document. You're just going to share your secrets with the world? Aren't you worried? Aren't you a little bit worried that all the other web design companies in Chicago will use your checklist? So I made this next slide to explain. No, I'm not worried at all. Why would I? What would it cost me? What would the downside be? Who cares? If I'm worried about publishing that, and here's Sean. Sean's also worried about publishing his website launch checklist. George is an expert. He's going to publish it and get all the fun anyway, right? He's going to rank. He's going to attract a visitor. He's going to have the chance of converting that person into a subscriber or a lead or a friend or follower or someone to share. It's going to be in George's network, and Sean and I lose. Today, that article ranks for website launch checklist. Whenever I made this screenshot, it's been not that recently, 46,000 people have seen that article. It definitely was a good idea to publish the checklist that Renee shared with me. Look at the visibility. Look at the upside, right? Now, I'm not actually in my mission in life isn't to just teach everyone how to launch a better website. Of course, we need to generate demand by ranking for a commercial intent key phrase, by ranking for Chicago e-commerce, Chicago web design, Chicago WordPress web design, Chicago mobile web design. So to rank for those very competitive, very valuable phrases, you have to have an authoritative website. How do you get an authoritative website? Well, you have to attract links and mentions from other sites, right? How do you attract links and mentions from other sites? You have to have something worth linking to. The website launch checklist, with basically no promotion except showing up in search, has been linked to from 46 different domains. That is extremely valuable, right? Money can't buy that. That's the greatest benefit. I'm also a big believer now in this. This might be my favorite. If I made this a 10-minute presentation, I'd probably just do this piece. I think this is maybe the most valuable. This has really been a big change in our marketing this last year. I believe now that there may be greater glory in updating something old, this is after you've been publishing for a little while, than in writing something new. Here's how it works. That article, this was the same article, the website launch checklist. It was ranking at the top of page 1, number 2 or 3, and then, oop, the rank starts to slip. What's wrong? Well, maybe the internet found a better article on the topic, right? Maybe it's just not as fresh as it was. Maybe that article just needs a little bit of love. Check your analytics, and you may find you have a lot of these, right? They were ranking quite high and attracting lots of visits for a long time. It starts to slide, right? This is an article that was starting to decrease. So I went into Moz to check where I'm tracking the rank. There it is, like a stock ticker. It's going down. Search visibility, going down. That's not good. But put that one into Search Console, and you can see there's sites linking to it, right? The domain itself has a lot of authority. 79 different websites are linking to that page. / this article is about it, internal linking. Put it into Open Site Explorer. This is an SEO thing. It has quite a bit of authority, 46 out of 100, right? This is an authoritative URL. It may just not be the best page on the internet anymore, but there's plenty of people linking to it. So our next step, what we do now, Amanda and I do now, is to put these on a list of articles that need a little love, articles that would benefit from some attention in some way. And I'll show you 2 ways in which we do that. Here we go. These are all the key phrases and the associated articles that we're going to pay more attention to. Here is maybe the best way to decide what to add to that list, which is to find the phrases for which you almost rank high. Some of you maybe have seen me show this tactic before, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. Extremely powerful tool in analytics with lots of valuable keyword data. It's in the Acquisition, Search Console, Queries report. Lots and lots of keyword data in Google or in analytics. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Take this report. It shows you all the phrases that you rank for, and it shows you how high you rank. Now, if you filter this report, it will filter, of course, the first column. If you want to filter for another column, you have to click on Advanced Filter. We're going to share these slides. I'll share them with you before we leave today if you have a thumb drive, and we'll email them to you tonight or tomorrow if you have a business card. So click on Advanced, and what you'll see is the ability to put in a filter that filters for another column, such as this. Include average position, that's the rank, where it's greater than 10. If your average position or if your rank is greater than 10, where do you rank? Page 2. And you've heard me say it before. I'll let someone else say it. What's the joke about? Where's the best place to hide a dead body? Page 2 of Google. Here they are. This is me saying, hey, Google, show me a list of phrases for which I rank high on page 2. These are the ones that need a little love. These are the ones where a tiny bit more ranking would create a ton more visibility. Because Google, for some reason, it's very weird they do it. It's all paginated. Right? That's why there's a huge drop-off. I'm not sure why they designed it that way. You'd think they'd make just like a tall scrolling page. So yeah, so these things need love, and maybe these are the best opportunities. Love him or hate him, Brian Dean knows a lot about SEO, and I found this at the bottom of an interview with him, and it changed how I think about marketing. And I'll paraphrase it a little bit. Only if all of my content is up to date and ranking where I think it should be, will I write something new. If it's not, I'll just go back and update and relaunch an older article. I love Brian, but I love Bruce Lee even more. I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, no focus. I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. This person is determined. This person is not going to give up on that URL. This person is going to stay focused on that topic, on that key phrase until they win. That's someone who you don't want to compete with, right? Look, he looks angry. Enter the dragon. So I go back and I rewrite that article. And once it's done, the internet seems to like it. Time on page And Joanna mentioned that, and she's right. That's a critical metric, right? That's the engagement metric. Time on page went up 70%. People seem to be happy with it. And Google's happy too. Look at the rank. There's the reversal in rank. Look, it's increasing. It was slipping to the bottom of page 1. Now it's climbing back to the top. Literally, as I track the rank, I can show you where I updated the page, right there, and now the rank begins to climb. The upside in traffic, it was a 107% increase on that URL. This is almost half the articles we published this year have been rewrites of things written 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. Email sign-up forms, now ranking number 1. We outranked MailChimp for email sign-up forms. How? That's a URL that's been out there a long time that had a lot of authority. We just had to make it a better page, make it a more detailed page. As soon as that article was updated, boom. The traffic from search, 100% increase, doubled the traffic by updating an old URL. Right? Here's an even better example, an article about website navigation. The rank starts to decline. It's in the middle of page 1. It's starting to slide. It's on the bottom of page 1. Right before it falls off into obscurity, we saved it, and now it's climbing back up. Now it ranks number 3. Ranks number 3 for website navigation. 460% increase in traffic. These old URLs with lots of authority might be some of your greatest resources. Question? I don't recommend putting dates on your, okay, so dates are a good question. The question is, when you republish, do you change the date? If your content strategy is such that you're publishing helpful, useful content, resources that are likely evergreen, as in they don't go out of style, I do not recommend having a blog post, a blog design that puts the date into the template. Put dates on your blog's template, forcing you to show the date, only if your content strategy is to publish news. Most people I know are not publishing news. They're publishing resources. So don't put the date into the programmatic design of the page. And if you write something that needs a date, like our blogger research, we put the date all over the place, right? The date's in the first sentence, the date's in the headline. You can still put the date in the blog. But yeah, it's going to be, you're going to have an easier time of doing this if the date isn't there. If the date is there, hopefully WordPress or whatever tool you use will let you change the date. And that might, hopefully, put it back on top of the pile and it appears back in the rotation. So this is kind of a radical idea. And the idea is that, I mean, basically, maybe we don't need 1,000 articles. Maybe we need 100 really good articles. And that there's greater benefits in going back and improving something that was already good instead of just making another medium quality thing and throwing it on the thing, you know, hoping someone sees it. Even better, Ron Swanson puts it even better. Makes perfect sense, right? It's a family show. Can't show that. Now, you completely ruin this tactic if you change the URL. The whole benefit was that that URL had authority and that there were sites linking to it, and that you can get the SEO benefit by updating it without changing the URL. Speaking of URLs, thinking about this now, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done this a long time ago. If you write an article with the URL best practices, and the article's a list, and you've got 7 URL best practices, it's going to make it harder for you to later on go update this thing so that if there's 22 best practices now, bummer, your URL has a number in it, so don't ever put numbers in your URLs. I also don't recommend putting formats in your URLs. You're doing webinars? Fine, make it a webinar, but no reason to put the format URL, you know, like the webinar, white paper, case study, into the URL, because maybe later you're going to make that something else, right? Just make it the thing. Don't put numbers and formats into your URLs. It's going to make it harder for you to get the benefit of repurposing later. Wish I'd known that. Didn't think of that until 9 years of content marketing. Now, it was also after doing this now for months into this, oh, the rank's declining. I should rewrite that. Oh, it's slipping to the bottom of page 1. I should rewrite that. But then I started to realize that, yeah, you can improve the rank for something that was kind of a low traffic thing. And doubling traffic to it might give you a couple dozen visits a month. But there's other things on your site that maybe get thousands of visits a month that are declining in traffic. And updating these and improving the ranking might give you hundreds more visits a month. In other words, the pages on your site are not equal contributors to total top-line traffic and brand awareness. Paying more attention to those rock stars, those blockbuster pieces at the top, will give you far greater benefits than these guys down here at the bottom, right? So now we have a spreadsheet that sorts them all by change in search traffic month over month, and I showed that difference. So now I care much more about these. These are the ones we prioritize. just because this one decreased in traffic a little bit, I can reverse that trend, and I'm going to get how many more visits? Not that much, right? So it's always true. Everything in digital is true. It's always this exponential curve where a small percentage of things is the greatest contributor, right? Now, I met someone at a conference recently who happens to be an expert at Google Data Studio. Have you guys heard of Google Data Studio? So the problem with this thing is that it's frozen in time. What Dana DiTomaso did was build this for us in Google Data Studio. And now it's a live report. I can choose any date range. I can choose just search traffic from this drop-down here. And it shows me the change in search traffic month over month for all of the pages sorted by their total contribution to top-line traffic. Make sense? Time spent on these is worth exponentially more than time spent down here at the bottom. Every website I've ever seen, every analytics account, and we've seen hundreds, there's usually like 5 or 10 pages that get 50+% of the traffic. Those are the ones where we should really be focusing. So I did this before. I'm like, oh, I should improve the rank. Only now, if I pay attention to which ones, right, it's going to make a much bigger difference. So just to give her a shout out and some love, this is Dana from Kickpoint, kickpoint.ca. And this slide is just to say thank you to Dana, basically. The quote, the pretext for adding it is a quote, accurate data helps you save time, budget, and avoid missed opportunities. Thank you, Dana, for the help with that Google Data Studio slide. It's good to have friends, right? And that's a big upside. She just made that for us. I love her. This is a tip I've never heard at any marketing conference, so I'm going to just do it anyway. I think that one of the biggest factors, I met someone yesterday at an Apple store, at the Apple store over there. Have you guys been in that place yet? Yeah. Sorry, birds. It's a beautiful store. It's a glass wall that all these buildings have the same problem. It's sad. So he's like, how do you get it done? I said, you just do it. You get it done. It's work and you have to do it. And it may not, even if you're not in content marketing, yeah, this is what a lot of people do. Their time is ruled by urgency. They wake up and they open their inbox, and they work on email all day. Then they're on Reddit during lunch. Then they're back in their email all day. Yeah, they get some time with their family, but they're also half distracted because they're checking urgent stuff. And then they binge watch Stranger Things season 2, which I would love to do too. But I've got a different plan because I've got short and long-term goals. So the main key, what I told Tim, was it what I said or the slide? So what I told Tim at the Apple store yesterday is go to bed early. I honestly think that's a key to success. Get to bed. Get to bed. Look what happens, right? So now, even on a busy day like this, right, I actually start on a good day at 4:15. And I don't touch my email until I've written, right? I try to make something, right? This is what Ginny does. Yeah. When Ginny's competitors wake up in the morning, she's done 20 miles on the bike and written 800 words. You don't want to compete with that. That lady's a powerful force, right? So maybe exercise, do something important before you do something urgent, right? Write, get to work in the morning, make something, share your best advice, give, it's an act of generosity. Do it first thing. I do it in the kitchen with a coffee, and I'm working on the book. Yeah, and then you can time block your day, right? Block it off. Prioritize, family first, of course, right? And get to bed. It should be more common advice. Maybe other industries do it better and talk about it more, but it's like we talked about the World Series and sports. I kind of like sport. I'm not a sports fan, and people tease me because I don't know much about sports ball. I know that it's not called sports ball. But it's cool, right? Because they're like coaches who are like, come on, you can do it. Give me 10 more. Nobody ever says that in marketing, right? Come on, you can do it. Give me 10 more. Give me 100 more words. We need like a CrossFit mentality in this industry. Wouldn't that be? It'd be good for us. Nobody does that. In business, people often say, oh, don't work so hard. I don't know. I think you should work very hard. I think it helps. Forethought rules, and this is the big time version of repurposing. All of us are making stuff all the time. And if you add it all together, what is it? It's your lifetime body of work. Talked about my wrist, now I'm on my elbow. This is your lifetime body of work. And one of the ways in which people like Ginny get an advantage is that they think in advance about this, and they organize all their thoughts in their head and their body of knowledge into what you could call, I put my name in there, the Andypedia. This is everything that I know. Ever tried this? It's an amazing mental exercise. Make an outline of everything that you know in your business. And then blog into that. If there's gaps, fill it in. Write the articles about that, right? This is what we do. We give away our advice and publish that content. And because I started with a framework and an organization and an outline, there's the book. This is a terrible photo of the Post-it notes that were on my wall for weeks while I tried to organize all my thoughts on the topic of content marketing. This is the Post-it notes turned into an outline, turned into the table of contents, and turned into the book. That's how they do it. It's not magical. It's not, and they don't do it all at once, right? They're just more structured, more persistent, and more focused than their competitors. That's how people go big on repurposing and just think in advance. It's just a little bit more forethought. So do you want me to take another minute or two? She said that we could go a little bit long on this. OK. I saved this, and I'm going to show you guys now the real ninja stuff, because this is something that I'm actually a little bit squeamish about teaching at a conference, but this is another thing that I'm doing a lot, and it aligns with a couple of questions I've gotten earlier today. Link, nudge, nudge. It's an SEO tactic to get links to the articles that need them the most. So if you create a piece of content, and it's super relevant, it's the best answer on the internet, it answers the question from every angle, it's a detailed, thorough piece, why doesn't it rank? The problem is it might be authority, right? You made it a great article, but there's no one linking to it. It doesn't have any authority. There's no credibility being passed to it from other websites. That's SEO, rank plus, or relevance plus authority, keywords plus links. So if you do get an opportunity to contribute to someone's content, a roundup, an interview, because you use that text expander and they get the idea, yeah, he wants to collaborate, then this happens. Hey, would you like to contribute to my post? Now, I was practicing a presentation for my wife, Crystal, and she's like, yeah, why do you have the Family Guy dude in your presentation? I had no idea who that was. That's Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, right? I found that literally by putting labeled for reuse into a Google image search on the word guy. I'm like, oh, he looks friendly. That's how I found that picture. I never heard of the guy. He's the Family Guy guy. The Family Guy guy never asked me to contribute to his articles, but we'll pretend. That's where that picture came from. So he says, yeah, do you want to contribute to my post? I'm going to look up first. I'm not being sneaky about it, but yeah, if I put that website into Open Site Explorer, I can see what the value would be for me contributing to that post if it links back to me. The domain authority of the site that I might be contributing to. Collaboration, right? It's not like building, it's just attracting through making friends. Then I go back and I look at my list and see which of my articles might need the best boost. That one needs a little help. More likely I'd choose one from Google Data Studio Report now. I made this slide a little while ago. And I might choose something from the top. So when he says, hey, do you want to contribute to my post? I take a look at which needs the most love. Sure. How about we talk about something on that topic? Sneaky. Sounds great, buddy. Family Guy definitely wants to talk about that topic, right? So now when I contribute to the piece, I send him my contribution. And you know how I do this already, right? I'm going super deep on the answers with like bullet points and lists and images. I'm also purposely looking for ways to include images in my contributions that are original diagrams from my content, because then I get the chance to put a little image source link with the title of the article at the bottom underneath the image. This is like image source link building, if that's even a thing. Maybe I made it up. But that's the idea, is that and this is one of the benefits of making original diagrams in your content, is because when you include them in contributions, you have the opportunity to put an image source at the bottom, linking back to the piece. And that link, of course, is, and here it is. So this is me emailing Seth MacFarlane. And this is it on Seth MacFarlane's website. There's the contribution. And there it is. I zoomed in. Image source. There's the link. Now, don't let them, don't believe the hype. Sites that have exact match anchor text, as in an article with a link to it that says collaborative content marketing, correlates very highly with rankings, right? I'm getting exact match anchor text links as image source links by using diagrams on contributions to other people's roundups. It's pretty sneaky of me. So that's it. That's my ninja trick. This was super fun, guys. I hope that's all practical. We're going to continue on with Nancy Harhut. I'm super excited for Nancy. So we'll bring TJ back up.
Keep it going for Andy, everybody.